What is good, fight fans? It's Ash's Corner. Shout out to the LDBC. Now, as we know, Tevin Farmer is the IBF champion at 130 pounds, and he does have a fight coming up January 30th at the end of this month versus Joseph Diaz, which is Jojo Diaz. His record right now, Jojo Diaz's record is 30 wins and 1 loss. He has 15 knockouts. And after this fight, he's been calling out Gary Russell Jr. Okay, he's been calling him out. Gary Russell hasn't said a damn thing about the call out. Okay, so all I want to know is why not? Why not? Why can't this fight happen? Everybody seems to be pushing Tank versus Gary Russell still, even though they're two weight classes from each other, and Gary hasn't did nothing but bump his gums about moving up. He hasn't did nothing about moving up. He hasn't did anything. He's just been talking about it. So I want to know why not. He's not asking to go up to 135, even though Gary Russell said he'll be strong as hell at 135. I'll move up to 135 because people ducking me. I got to move up to 135. My next fight ain't going to be at 126. He said all of this shit already. He said all of this shit. These are the last comments he's made, actually. Gary Russell has made. So if that's the case, then why don't you move up to 130 like you said that you was going to do for a whole year last year? You said you was going to move up to 130 to fight Tank. Move up to 130 and fight for that same belt that you were trying to fight Tank for. You was trying to fight Tank for what? No, actually, he wasn't trying to fight Tank for the IBF. He was trying to fight Tank for that WBA belt because he didn't start calling out Tank until after that Cuellar fight. And Cuellar, Jesus Cuellar was a title fight. So I don't know why people are crying about him fighting Cuellar. It's a title fight. Who turns down a vacant title fight? Nobody, okay? So please stop it. Stop it with he fought Cuellar. Why did he fight Cuellar? He fought Cuellar because they mandated that fight and it was a vacant title fight for the WBA belt that he just dropped to move up to fight for at 135. I don't understand what y'all not understanding about that part. Like when it comes to you blaming a fighter for fighting somebody, it can't be a title fight. You can't blame him for fighting for a title, bruh. It just is what it is. But I'm going to go back to what was said. Tevin Farmer called out Gary Russell and said, I would love to invite him and introduce him or whatever to 130 pounds. And we can fight for my IBF belt. He said that. Okay, months before that, I think 6 or 7 months before that, Gary Russell said that everybody is ducking him from 126 to 135. So anybody in between that bracket that says let's fight to Gary Russell, there should be nothing. There should be nothing. It should be nothing to it but to do it. Like you just said, everybody's ducking you, right? So if one person in that weight class call you out, you should answer, right? In addition to Gary Russell saying that everybody from 126 to 135 is ducking him. Your favorite fighter in that division too, because I don't believe he's just talking about 2 people. Bullshit. You're talking about 3 weight classes. You're talking about everybody at 126, everybody at 130, and everybody at 135 is bullshit on top of bullshit. But since y'all want to believe it, I'll spread that shit across the bread. Okay? Let me say this right now. You cannot say that everybody in those weight classes are ducking you, but when one person calls you out from that weight class, you don't want to fight him. Y'all allowing this motherfucker to have shitty mouth syndrome. You're allowing that shit. You're praising his bullshit. You're praising it. In the same conversation when he said everybody's ducking him from 126 to 135, he said, what's his name? Fred was giving an interview, barbershop conversations. Fred asked him, so what about Tevin Farmer? He's in that weight class. He fights at 130. He has a title. Tevin Farmer, Gary Russell said Tevin Farmer don't have no pop. He can't fight. He don't got no pop, and he get too disrespectful. He get all up in your face, and you know how I get. I'll punch you in your face. So that's why you don't want to fight Tevin Farmer, yo. You so fucking macho and hardcore with your little ass. You can't do this to me, can't do that to me. You walk up to Leo Santa Cruz face, but nobody can get in yours. Bro, you're one of those, yo. You're one of those guys, bro. No respect. You get no respect, bro. Fight! Fight somebody. If he would have moved up to 130 a year ago, we wouldn't be having this fucking conversation. He wouldn't even be calling out Tank because they would have been in the same weight class. Y'all, you would have been going to those same fights that Tank go to, but he don't. The motherfucker been in that little ass cub, that little bear been in hibernation for a long time, man. He doesn't go to no fight. I don't give a fuck when nobody say, I don't give a shit when people be like, oh, well, he doesn't even care about the sport no more. He doesn't even go to fight. If he wants a fight, go to the end of the fight. You don't have to go there and go there. You don't have to go and stay for the whole goddamn event. You don't have to do that. You can't be a parking lot pimp. You can't see him in the halls. You don't know how to do that. You don't know your way around the backstage like everybody else. Everybody else get caught in the back. You see people giving interviews to everybody backstage or in the halls or on the way to the exit all the time. Where are you at? You don't have to be in the crowd. You don't have to watch the fight. And then how in the hell, like, yo, this is the problem with this nigga. Everybody that's in boxing loves their job. You know what I'm saying? It's not a job if you don't, if you love it, it's not a job. This is a job to this man. He don't like it. He doesn't even like it. He doesn't like it. And then you have Tevin Farmer, yo. Tevin Farmer thinks he's, one of the best things that came out since Pants with Pockets. Tevin Farmer says that, he got a better defense than Floyd Mayweather. Listen, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't like neither one of these banners. And I got receipts to prove it. I've never liked neither one of them. But this fight is a good fight. Very interesting, telling, very entertaining fight. It can be very entertaining. And I will definitely watch this shit. Tevin Farmer versus Gary Russell at 130. What? Everybody that's a fan of Gary Russell, their eyes and hearts should be brightened up. Like, oh my God, he's finally giving us a gift. Something. He's finally giving us something. The motherfucker finally moved up to 130. It's better fights at 130. You'll be fighting more than once a year at 130 if you know what you're doing. It's so many fights at 130. Ain't nothing at 125 but Shakur Stevenson. He's the only person that's there. Everybody else is washed, man. Everybody else is trash. And I don't mean to call a fighter trash, but they're washed up fighters. And this 31-year-old Gary Russell has been fighting at 126 his entire career. And I don't care about y'all saying that he's held the WBC for the second longest time because Deontay Wilder got the first fight. The second longest time. Deontay Wilder defended his title 10 times. Gary Russell defended it 4. So what does it matter how long you had that title? Man, whatever. Tevin Farmer only got 6 knockouts. Okay? Gary Russell has 18 knockouts. Stop acting scared. And I'm gonna call you scared because you haven't said shit about Tevin Farmer calling you out. All you can do is talk about Gervonta Davis. Because that's the only fight you think you can get that can put millions in your pocket. Because I don't think you've had a purse that damn big. Gervonta Davis makes big bread. He's a star. People that you want to like you love him. And that's why Gary's jealous. And I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I don't care if he say he ain't jealous, his mother, his daddy, his family, his friends. I don't care. That nigga's jealous. You're jealous. Never met somebody so small that demands so much respect, but don't respect nobody else. The hell out of here with that shit. He gonna say it ain't no beef, but then go up to everybody and try to disrespect him in all types of ways. Disrespect where he came from, who he is. But yet, it ain't no beef. How isn't it no beef? That fucking mustache. I hate it. Jeez. All right. I digress. I'm going to pull back a little bit. And I'm going to start talking to you about the specs. And I'm going to start with Gary Russell first. Gary Russell Jr. has 30 wins, 1 loss, the same as Jojo Diaz. He has 18 knockouts. He's fought for 148 rounds. His knockout rating is 58.06%. He's 31 years old. He is a southpaw. He's 5'4.5". He has a 64-inch reach. And he was born in D.C. and he's fighting out of Capitol Hill. All right. Now, Tevin Farmer, on the other hand. And of course, the only loss that Gary Russell he suffered by the hands of one loss, one win Lomachenko. Lomachenko was 1-1 when he fought. What I think Gary Russell was 26-0, spanked Gary's ass. But just like I said, moving on to Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer's record is 34-1, so he has 30 wins, just like JoJo Diaz, just like Gary Russell. 30 wins, but he has 4 losses and 1 draw. Okay, Farmer has 6 knockouts. Okay, he got knocked out in his first pro fight. He got TKO'd in 2011, and in 2012, Jose Pedraza TKO'd him. But other than that, he's fought for 264 rounds. He has a knockout rating of 16.67%. That he on that Malignaggi knockout rating. He's 29 years old, only 2 years younger than Gary. He's 5'6" with a 67-inch reach, and he is a southpaw as well that fights out of Philly. So I ask again, why not make this fight? To everybody that's listening to this video that's fans of Gary Russell, you can't disagree with me when I tell you that if he moves up to fight Tevin Farmer, that he will have better fights, right or wrong? Would he have more quality of fights? Will his opposition be better than 126? Yes, most definitely. He might even fight more than once a year. I know his pay might go up. His stock might rise. His career, in my opinion, would be overall lifted. It'll be better. I don't know why he stayed at 126 for so long. And now that it seems to me, the only reason why he was there is to get a Leo Santa Cruz fight. Like, it seemed like that's all that he wanted. That was all on his wish list for like 4 years. Now, that whole ticket packed up and moved to the weight class you said that you was going to move to for the last 10, 12 months. So why are you still at 126? I don't get it. Shakur Stevenson's about to fight, I think Josh Warren or whatever his name is, Warrington. He's about to fight him. Who knows? Shakur Stevenson might move up to 130. Then, what, Gary going to be the only person still at 126? And he's the only person that's been boasting that he's going to go to 130 and didn't do it. Like, seriously. If the one man that halted your career for half a decade moved up and you said you was going to move up before him, then what are you waiting on? And even if people say he's not going to move up if he don't have a guaranteed fight, you don't have a guaranteed fight with Tank at 135. The man that you've been calling out and chasing for your career has been Leo Santa Cruz way before it was Gervonta Davis. So Leo Santa Cruz said that he wanted to fight Gary Russell at 130. It could be bullshit, but even if it's not bullshit, you have a guaranteed fight with Tevin Farmer. You are under Tevin Farmer. Tank was over him. So that fight couldn't be made because they was bumping heads of who was the biggest. And Tevin Farmer wanted a $7 million check. He wanted a heavyweight check purse for that fight at 130. And they said no deal because Eddie wanted that fight to be on DAZN and wasn't going to happen because Tank wasn't going to fight on DAZN. That's why that fight was scrapped, because of Eddie Hearn. And Tevin Farmer wanting $7 million or whatever the hell he wanted. It was too much money. That's not the case for this fight. I look at Gary Russell is under him as far as the numbers and shit and stuff. He's under Tevin Farmer. In my opinion, if he's not, they could be the same. But I don't see Tevin Farmer asking Gary Russell's team for a bunch of money. They only fight once a year. You understand what I'm getting at? Tevin Farmer wants this fight. Okay? So whatever Tevin offers Gary Russell to move up and take Tevin Farmer's IBF strap, he should do it. There should be nothing to complain about. You should do it. Because I honestly think if that fight was to start being talked about and being made in between Gary Russell and Tank, Gary Russell is that type to probably ask for 50-50 from Tank. Like some bullshit. Both of these fighters, in my opinion, Gary and Tevin, they talk about money more than anything else. If you read between the lines, Gary Russell always Gary Russell ends everything with basically how much money, is going to be made. You know how many people is going to come out? You know how many how much money is going, how big the fight's going. That's all you really care about. Tank's past that because he already got big checks. Tevin Farmer has fought enough bums to have that in his bank account. Gary Russell fights once a year, bruh, at 126. I don't see why not. And Tevin Farmer did a great job by calling out Gary Russell. A great job. That's a kudos to him. He gets a round of applause for doing it. That was smart. Okay? Now with Tank off the table, Gary Russell's the only one left for him to call out to get that big viewership. This is Philly versus DC. It's still or PG. My opinion, Capitol Heights is in PG. Right beside DC, but it's in PG. You know what I'm saying? It's still Maryland versus Philly. Baltimore is still Maryland. It's still Maryland versus Philly. This is still a black fighter, still a fighter in his weight class, but smaller. This time, Gary Russell's smaller than Tevin Farmer. This is the closest Tank fight he's going to get. Is Gary Russell. And this can still be big money, big viewership, still can be up there with right beside Tank versus Tevin. Tevin versus Gary can be big also. Not saying as big, but big also. So he did a good job by calling out Gary Russell. Gary Russell is just not saying shit. Somebody tell that man that Tevin Farmer's calling you out, and he's being respectful. So he probably heard your video he probably heard the barbershop video of Barbershop Conversations interviewing Gary Russell, and Gary Russell saying he too disrespectful. He get all in your face. I seen him in JoJo Diaz's face and Tank face. And he's being respectful calling you out. He's not even being disrespectful calling you out. It's like, okay, sir. Okay, sir. You want me to ask you out politely? I'll call you out politely, sir. I would love to invite you to 130 to fight for my belt, for the IBF belt. How nice can he get with it? Goddamn, he still didn't say shit. The next time Tevin Farmer talk about Gary Russell, be disrespectful. Get that little man's attention. Fuck that. He was respectful when he called you out. He called you out twice. Twice now. 2 different days, 2 different interviews. He's called you out. It's been months. Gary Russell hasn't said anything. He hasn't said nothing. I want you to tell me in the comment section if you would see this fight. Would you watch this fight? Why not if you won't watch this fight? Why wouldn't you give either fighter respect for winning this fight? Why not? I just want to know why. Why isn't nobody talking about this fight? Why don't nobody care to watch it? Why don't nobody care about it? Everybody just cares about these 2 motherfuckers fighting Tank. Bruh. What about them fighting each other? Tevin Farmer wants that fight. Holla if you hear me. In the comment section, please say something. Tell me something. Always like and subscribe to the channel. If anybody would like to donate to the channel, my link to the Cash App will be in the description below. Peace.